first hour of the day, we're doing station and equipment checks. I have my two drivers checking out our engine one and ladder. They'll be going around the truck, making sure all the tools and equipment are ready to go and ready for any emergency today. We have the rest of our crew upstairs. They're doing our station maintenance, station cleaning once a day for the first hour of the day. We ensure the station's clean and make sure the trucks are ready to go.
I'm the driver of this truck, so my job right away in the morning is I come down and check to make sure everything is operating on the truck. Before the driver before me left, he let me know anything new or any problems they're having with the truck. Now it's my job to go through this check-off list and check all these things to make sure they're okay on the truck. Up here is the driver's seat where I ride. Things I'm checking for there is to turn the lights on, make sure all the lights work. We have fuel in the truck, things like that. I'm also going to come back and make sure all the hose is in the right spot. Our nozzles are set to the proper gallonage, and we have the right stream for interior fire attack. And then I'm going to check these SCBA packs, turn them on, make sure that there's enough air in the bottle. These bottles supposed to hold 30 minutes of air, but when we're working hard, they typically it's only enough air for 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm going to make sure there's enough air in the bottle, and I can see that right there. And then I'm going to wait 20 seconds or so, and it's going to alarm. Okay, so now I know that works. What that is if I'm wearing my SCBA and I go down and I'm not moving for 20 seconds, it's going to start to alarm, and eventually it's going to get louder. So if I'm unconscious, it helps the firefighters who are coming in to find me easier. Also, this red button, if I get in trouble when I'm in the fire, I push this, it's going to be loud. And that's full alarm to let them know that, hey, I need help, and help them find me. The other thing I'm going to check is I'm going to bleed the pressure down. And then it's going to make this type of alarm. What that alarm says is that I'm running low on air. I only have 25% of my air left in the tank, and I need to start thinking about getting out of the structure. Another thing I'm going to check back here is medical bags. Because of the location of the stations in the city, we also do EMS, so we're usually the first on scene on EMS calls. Where all the firefighters in the Fargo Fire Department are EMT basics. So we show up and we can do basic medical care. What we have in these bags, this is called a pulse oximeter. It helps us determine how well a person's body is producing oxygen, or using oxygen, I should say, blood pressure stuff, and we have some oxygen in here. So what I'm going to check is make sure we have enough oxygen in the tank for a medical call. Have enough oxygen. I'm also going to check the truck fluids to make sure the engine is working properly. Make sure everybody's got their radio for the day.
My job as being the newest guy on the shift is to make sure the living quarters are cleaned every morning and make sure everything's kind of ready to go for the day up here. In the morning we have 7 guys here, but in the morning obviously there's 14 for the ongoing and off-coming shifts. Kind of sit down for breakfast, we talk about what we're going to get done that day and what happened the day before. We got a kitchen in here for the shifts. All meals are cooked here, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Each firefighter provides his own meal. The city does not provide the meals for us. So we cook together. This morning will be, looks like oatmeal and flaxseed. Lunchtime we got a tater tot hot dish and then moose burger for dinner tonight. So we're pretty excited for that. So in the morning, part of our duties are just to make sure the dishwasher's empty, clean the countertops, get lunch stuff set out, get breakfast stuff set out, make sure there's coffee for everybody that's always going, take all the garbage out, mop the floors, dry mop, wet mop, dust anything, and just kind of general cleanup and maintenance of the station in the morning. So they encourage that everyone works out after 4:30, from 4:30 to 5:30. everyone's encouraged to come in here, lift some weights, get on the elliptical machine, the treadmill. A lot of us are doing a P90X video routine right now and kind of working out with that every night. So it's just kind of a place to come in and unwind, lift some weights. In a way, it's kind of relaxing for some of the guys just at the end of the day.
There's lots of things I love about the job, but a lot of personal satisfaction whenever you can help somebody that's in distress, I guess. It's just a good feeling when somebody's in trouble, no matter what it is, and we go there and do our best to make the situation better. We had one the other day, a lady couldn't get in her house because her dog knocked a shovel over, which hit perfectly against the handle of the door, wedged the shovel against the steps, and she couldn't get in the house, and it was the only door. It was an apartment house on the 3rd floor. So we ended up going up, putting ladders up, and she thought she had one window that didn't have the latch on it, and we had to get the window open, go through the house, get back down, and the dog, he had been left alone, and I think he was bored because that house looked like a tornado went through it.
Fargo is covered by 6 fire stations. They're spread out throughout the city to provide for a minimum or a maximum 4-minute response time. So they're spread out equally. We have a 7th station in the planning out by the Osgood area. We're going to be moving to Station 4 right at the moment. It's our in a central located station. It's our physical training ground. We have a tower there where we can train for high angle rescue, which we'll be displaying this morning, and we can also do some ladder evolutions off that training tower. And we also have a burn simulator building where we'll also be doing some training this morning. We have 2 engines and a rescue truck. They'll be doing a live fire evolution this morning. It's going to simulate maybe a window washer, maybe a construction worker that's had a fall, got entangled in their rigging or something, and we're going to send a guy, rappel a guy down and do what we call a pick-off, where we're going to safely transfer him from his harness and rope system onto our harness and rope system, and we'll safely bring him to the ground.
And how we have it set up is on the main line, the crew up here is going to actually lower me down on the orange rope. The blue rope will be my safety line in case something happens to the orange rope. When I get down to the victim, I will have them stop lowering me, then I'll go inverted upside down and clip into his harness with this pick-off strap, and then get him off of his rope and disconnect him from what he's entangled with, and then signal to my crew to lower the victim and myself down to the ground. And so everything I got on is just the safety harness, and I have a few Prussics for self-rescue in case I get in trouble up there, and that's pretty much everything I need.
We have here, it's called a RPM. It's a rack, pulley, and this configuration is called a mariner's hitch. With these basic items, we can raise or lower anybody on this rope. This rope is rated for 9,000 pounds, so it gives us an extra safety factor in it, and it's a static rope, so it's, if we put a mechanical advantage system in it, it won't stretch too much. It'll keep it very static. And also, as Jason's going to demonstrate, once we lower Jason down to the victim, it's going to keep him right there, and it won't allow for a lot of bounce that you'll see in like rock climbing ropes and stuff like that. That's more flexible rope. We're going to use, it's called a belay line. This is our safety backup. It runs through this piece of equipment here called a 540 rescue belay, and how this works is it'll slide through here. If there's a shock load put on the system, if that rope breaks or any piece of our equipment fails, it'll lock and stop the rescuer and the victim.
They're lowering him down now. You know, he's not repelling himself. So he'll tell him to stop here pretty quick. And then what he'll do is he'll go upside down, and he's going to hook that blue webbing that he's got on his right side to the dummy. Stop. Now he's getting his, it's called a pick-off strap. And he'll invert himself here. back over, and he'll with his own, he'll use that strap and he'll lift to take the weight off of the rope that the victim is hanging on. All right. Hi, Steve. Gary Lorenz, Fargo Fire Department. We would like to do our annual fire prevention inspection, if you don't mind.
That's fine.
That's fine? Great. Just a couple questions. This is our emergency contact sheet. Are the names and phone numbers still current on there?
Everything is correct.
Everything's still current? These are the people you need called? Great. Well, then if you don't mind, we'll take a look around the building, or if you want to come with us, that'd be great too.
I'll come along.
Super. We check fire extinguishers to make sure they're properly located and that their tags are current and up to date. Businesses are required to have all their extinguishers serviced and checked annually, once a year. And then they put the company that does it puts in the appropriate tag on it. We look for exit signs to make sure that they're working and functioning properly where required. This is a kind of a public assembly, so that those types of things are more important. And then we just go through the building looking for various things. And
I got smart.
if we looked at our inspection sheets, you know, we carry drawings of the buildings, we check that. This is all entered into a computer, and this is information that we can get on the MDCs in our trucks. And anything other, you know, if they have a sprinkler system, the current sprinkler checks are added in our folder, and that's all stuff we'll check as we go along here. Some of the things we look for in mechanical rooms, you know, we don't want combustible storage too close to furnaces. If there's electrical panels, there can't be storage in front of the electrical panels. Need to maintain a 36-inch clearance. Just things we look for. In here now, we check the electrical panels, make sure there's no tape over breakers, make sure all the spots are filled. We check the tag. He's got an extinguishing system over his cooking area here, so these need to be checked. And we check the tags to make sure that that is current, 2007. He's good. And for example, this one says water shut up basement behind pantry in southeast corner. That's exactly where it's at. And your 2 emergency lights, okay. But none of that is a big deal, so don't. Right. Oops, I don't need that. I need you here. You're good.
Then we sign off on those and send them back.
Yep. Yep. Once the problems have been corrected, you can fill out the yellow copy and mail back to the above address.
Gotcha.
Today we're going to be calibrating a 4-gas monitor. Our calibrations are done every month on the 1st to ensure accuracy among all the monitors that we have. We probably have in excess of 30 monitors at the station, so the 1st of the month is a very busy time. Basically, we have a monitor that will read a specific gas or type of gas. This particular monitor that we have is called a Q-ray. And the 4 gases we tested against is a toxicity. And for the toxicity, we'll use, one of the sensors that we use is hydrogen sulfide. The second toxicity that we'll go against will be carbon monoxide. We check for an explosive mixture. On this particular one, we will we'll throw a methane against it to ensure the accuracy. And then last but not least, we have to know what the oxygen is, 20.9% oxygen. The meters are set up so that prior to immediately dangerous to life and health environment, an alarm will sound. On this particular model, an alarm will sound, and there's a little flash that will go off on the top so that you can see and or hear that you're entering an environment that is not good for your health. A lot of times the 4 gas monitors that we use are used when they go below grade. That allows people to go, should we have somebody that's trapped in a sewer or anything that's below ground, before they enter that environment, they have to take and actually meter that air to make sure that it'll sustain life. In the hazardous materials field, we will use these monitors to ensure that when we're going in to check for a given scene, that nothing has been released or nothing is producing the gas that we are checking against. Now it tells us we need to apply the gas. We're doing that right now, and it goes through a calibration process that lasts approximately 60 seconds. When we get done with this, it should take and give us the same meter readings on the meter that is going against on the gas.